Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life here. Welcome to 10 Things We Hate About Shadow Man, the PS1, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 PC game from the 1999. From 1999. We're both big fans of this game. You know, I have tattoos about it on my body, and we've done 10 things we love about it already where we praised it heavily. But like everything, it's not flawless. In fact, Shadow Man has a lot of flaws with a game this big, and depending upon the version you got.
Yes, yeah.
Which brings me to the first one. I will get us started again. Some versions are downright ugly and flawed. The PS1 version is shocking, and I think the Nintendo 64 version is pretty bad too.
Yep, I would agree. Like I said, I recently bought both on the Dreamcast and the N64, completed on both of them, and the N64 is ridiculous. The Dreamcast, in my opinion, probably other than the PC, was the best version.
Yeah, for consoles, you should play the Dreamcast version. However, I would advise you, if you wish to play this game, get it on Steam for a couple of quid and put a controller in, plug a controller in, or sync up a controller and play it on the PC. That's the version that I most recently played, and it's the most complete and attractive looking version.
I did not know it was on Steam either.
It's on Steam, yeah.
Wow. I'll have to download it. So.
Very cheap, and it runs really well on a decent laptop or PC, not even a great one.
Cool.
But yeah, it's simply that. Some versions, I think, we were introduced to this game on the PS1.
Yeah.
So we started off with the worst version, but it obviously had something enough to make us, and then it kind of carried on from there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, if you've got a home console and you've got the Dreamcast, play it on that. That's going to be your best console version for sure. Did you have that too?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, it's an obvious. It's almost the number one flaw with Shadow Man.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we had that, so I'll go again.
Yep.
Lack of enemy variations. This is a problem throughout the game. There's only a handful of actual enemy variations, you know, but there's one area in particular where it is most noticeable and most unforgivable, and it's in Asylum. In Asylum, it is the same skin character, and the only difference is the weapon they hold, be it a sniper gun, be it hooks, or be it a chainsaw, and that's it. That is the biggest flaw I have with the enemy variations. There are in the wasteland. You know, you've got ones that are weak and shoot at you, like crying human beings. You've got spider-style ones, and you've got like some sort of torso-only ones. But again, that's about, and the old flying one.
That's it.
That's about it.
I mean, I think overall there's only maybe 6 or 7 different variations, and it's just the developers or whoever created them. That was poor.
I kind of get why you wouldn't have a massive amount of variation in, say, Asylum, because these are like goons, you know, and stuff like that. But like, you could have come up with a few more. I know in further parts of Asylum, there's the ones that wear like armor and shoot machine guns. But again, that's about it.
They could have used anything though. I mean, because effectively the dead side is the hell.
Well, sure, a limbo, I would say. Yeah, that could, well, yeah,
it could have been anything. It could have been any sort of dead creature or person.
They could have been a lot more imaginative.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Even what we get isn't that imaginative. No. Oh, look, it's a spidery kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, did you have that?
Yes, I did.
There we go, we're doubling up already. Right, I'll go again. Sound effects. Now I'm going to pick on one sound effect specifically, because I did actually praise sound effects in the Love video. But we often criticize, contradict ourselves in these videos. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But the sound effect I'm going to talk about is the sound effect of Mike shooting his gun. You will do this and I'm talking about the shadow gun specifically. You will do this so much that you'll want to mute your TV. Because it's loud, it's bow, bow, over and over again. You hold it down to load it up, same thing. And because there's often so many enemies, you're doing it constantly. And it's really fucking annoying. It's really loud. Like, it's just loud in the game. I don't get why. And it'll make you want to mute your TV. So yeah, the shadow gun sound effect is a massive hate for me.
Yep. Mine too.
Really?
Yep. So again, that's one where literally I did mute the TV.
Okay.
At some point, like I said, it just gets, it's repetitive. Literally every room is kill the bad guys, the loud gun, and just like, basically I thought like, I was just doing my head in.
Yeah. It's obnoxious sounding.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, doubling up constantly. And we're no doubt going to double up on this one too. No map system, making finding your way around this game at times an absolute nightmare. I would say about a quarter through the game, when you've had to pass so many areas that have locked doors, you don't have enough souls to unlock or weapons to use and so on, that's where the problem begins. You are constantly trying to remember where you've been. Yep. And I think in Wasteland, where this is the biggest problem. In Asylum, you can just about manage because they tend to be a little bit more linear.
Yep.
And there's really only one way in out of them. In the Wastelands, it is infuriating.
I don't know what they're thinking. Honestly, I don't.
I just don't get why you couldn't have had a map.
A map or just any sort of indicator, just to prove where you were. But again, the developers. What
Yeah,
so.
I know. I mean, I can't hate on it too much because I have completed this game so many times and recently did it as well. And so I've clearly known, but that's through X amount of years of just knowing the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, of course, you had that too, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, and tied into that, made even worse, the map system, when you consider how much backtracking you have to do. The backtracking in a game where you've got a progression system is part and parcel of it.
Of course.
But fuck me, does Shadow Man have a lot of it. And more than realistically is fair, if you think about how many times you will have to go back to the same area because you've now got a specific thing. It's unreasonable at times.
Yeah, again, I've got this. It's like you said, I mean, you might get a special weapon or whatever, and then you got to go backwards and forwards, and then it's just constant. Like you said, you might be. I mean, I think in certain areas, but you might be there 4 or 5 times.
More than that, I would say. More than that.
More than actually, yeah.
I would use the Temple of Life as a good example. Now, this area is one you'll probably go to the most because it's where you put your Kado in to get extra life bars. Yeah. But also, that area houses many Dark Souls, but only at certain points. So, you'd go back to the Temple of Life and you'll be able to walk on lava now, and sweet, you'll be able to unlock 2 or 3 more souls there. But not all, you'll be back again later on when you unlock the ability to swim in lava.
Yep.
And that's the kind of shit. That's kind of like, that's too much backtracking. Okay then, horrible camera, but not terrible except for one point. The one thing I hate doing the most in Shadow Man because of the camera. Swimming!
Oh yeah.
Swimming is the worst. Now, there's a specific point that's worse though. So that's all terrible. Later, when you can swim in lava, Mike, in that lava water, has red glowing off his body. And he's centre of the camera. It obscures the camera. Yep. The water's murky. The camera's shit. It is hazardous to your health of just where the fuck do I go?
Yeah.
And it's not so bad when you in the area that you unlock that. It's in the fucking place. What is the area that's called where it's a massive lava pit with a thing circling around it, and if it hits you, it damages. Fuck, it's one of the last areas. Cageways. It's the cageways. Yeah, massive lava pit, different directions. Horrible. All because of the damn camera.
Yeah, shockingly, I've got it too.
Can you believe it?
But, yeah, no, I mean, the cameras, the lava, the tattoos, literally everything in the entire area is ridiculous. Yeah. They could have done so much more.
Just why do you have to have the red glowing off him?
Yeah, well, I see exactly.
Or if you once I'm in the water, make it clear because I'm in it now. Make it visible, or just design a good camera that doesn't centre him. Okay then, still doubling up. Let's see if this one we actually have a different one. The Jack boss location is a horrible maze. The worst one. Now, when I was younger, before I went back to this recently, I always remembered Avery Marks' hotel as being a shit place to navigate because it was quite dark and all that. Then I went back to Jack's area and fuck that place. It is a mate. First you get sewers and you've got to get through that and there's many different directions and you eventually find your way and then it's like here's London Underground and it's still more mazes and then you eventually find his boss room and it's many different areas and stuff like that. It's so bad. Check this out. This actually happened to me. I couldn't believe it happened to me. I somehow approached Jack from a different direction. That meant I didn't activate the teddy bear. The very first time I went through it recently, and I don't know if it was a glitch, I did not go through the London Underground part. I'd gone all the way through the sewers and ended up getting through to Jack, right? And then I thought, oh, maybe because it's a Steam version, there was more than what extra stuff added.
Yeah.
And I remember killing him and beating him, being like, well, how do I come back? Like, if I want to come back, the teddy hasn't come. So I remember running around his different rooms, and it never came up. And I was like, all right, well, fair enough. Left it. Forgot that I didn't use the prism. I didn't use the prism to go through into the machine room. Yeah. So I ended up having to go back. And I was like, well, I didn't get a teddy bear thing. I went back, and I've then found my way through the London Underground part, because that then activates in the London Underground part. How the fuck did that happen?
It must have been a glitch.
But the thing is, like,
that's not possible.
No, It is possible because even when I was trying to find my way to the London Underground part, the route I initially took was there anyway. It wasn't like I clipped for a wall or there was something glitchy. I just made my way that way. So yeah, I hate the Jack location.
I wonder now if that's actually in every version. Then.
Good question. But never happened to me before. Ever happened to me before, and only on this. But yeah, so that's one of the things I hate. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that because obviously I never knew it. So.
Yeah, of course.
I've got down on my one. I've got the controls.
Yep.
The controls are an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, the jumping for starters.
It's hazardous.
It's ridiculous.
It's hazardous. He's got these irritating.
He jumps and he swings his arms like a Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's one of those games as well where sometimes you have to make that jump that's really close to the edge, but if you do one step over the edge, you won't jump.
No.
He's got this horrible sideways and backwards jump, which doesn't work nowhere as good as it should.
No.
And actually, I'm not a fan of the two-hand system. And the reason being is because it's like, you set it up how you want to set it up, but then like often it will then just revert.
Yep.
And I find that irritating too.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think they're game breaking or like unplayable controls.
No.
I think it's minor little nitpicky stuff, you know?
A lot worse games with a lot worse controllers.
Yeah. And talking about things that are nitpicking, this one kind of is nitpicky, but I think it's valid. The checkpoint system, it's flawed. Now, for the most part, it's a decent enough checkpoint system. You die and you'll mostly restart an area. But areas aren't big. However, I think it really comes to light in the temples. And it's the fact that you can die right at the point where you're about to get the latest set of tattoos, and you're sent back to the beginning of that temple. And often it's not far, and by that point you've unlocked all the routes, so it should be easy for you to get back.
Yep.
But it is fucking irritating. And the one I'm going to use a great fucking example, which happened recently, is I think it's Temple of Naga or whatever that one. The one where you can swim in lava, the one with those tattoos. And the final room for the symbol and where you get the tattoos has pits of lava that you can fall into. And the idea is when you get it, you'll be able to swim in them. You know? And of course, I'm like, there it is. And suddenly you're super nervous.
Yeah.
And when you're super nervous, you make mistakes. So I end up falling into the pit. Right back to that area where the teddy bear activated is the checkpoint. And I think that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, adding to that one, I mean, most games nowadays, you have like an auto-save or checkpoint, but obviously, bearing in mind this game came out a long time
1999, you can't give it too much shit for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would have thought probably on the Steam one, is it the same thing?
It's the same thing, same system.
You haven't added, no, okay.
Nope. It's just a really pretty, graphically impressive Shadow Man, yeah.
Well, I didn't have that one, but I've got one myself, which is again nitpicking. You know, it's the dialogue. I don't think there's enough dialogue. I mean, take away obviously John T and the odd talking with the five. There's not really much talking, really.
There really isn't.
It's mainly just going around killing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Other than Mike's narration, the couple of times with Nettie, and I would also say the thing about Jaunty is that you can actually you can only ever have one conversation with Jaunty if you so choose.
Yes.
Because Jaunty only really activates as a cutscene when you go back to the Marrow-Gates. Yeah. But there's no reason to go back to the Marrow-Gates. Nope. It's only particularly once you've got the last souls of that area, there's absolutely no reason to go back there. And I should say, there's a glitch on the Steam version, as far as I can see, that basically you'll get the same Jaunty scene over and over again. And it'll never change to a new one.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was happening to me anyway, at least. But yeah, dialogue-wise, there isn't loads. You get the one where you first deal with the bosses. They tend to introduce themselves. Yeah, okay. My second last one, you might have this one. I think the reward for collecting 120 Dark Souls is bullshit. It's a book. Effectively a behind-the-scenes book of, design, game design. It's an unlockable book. Artwork and stuff like that, and that's fine and all that, but you've just spent 120 souls. You should be giving me a badass weapons that allows me to play through the game again, super powered. Yeah,
I do. I agree. I mean, the developers again, they must have been laughing at that one. You just spent hours collecting all these souls. Here's a book for you. I mean, if you want someone to play your game over and over again, you make it exciting.
There's no replay value here. No. Once you've got a whole... No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you want developers, right? You want us to play your game more than once. You have to give us something to want to try. And if you've done 120 souls, finish that game, and here's your reward, and it's not something that crosses over. It's nothing of use for a second playthrough. There's no variation. There's nothing. That's it. So there's no replay value.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Obviously, complete different style of games, but Resident Evil, you complete it, you get given a rocket launcher or a machine gun with infinite ammo.
Yeah.
So it makes you want to do it again.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I agree. I agree. It's not a good reward. Right, my last one. You got how many more you got?
One.
My last one. Then we'll do your last one afterwards.
Yep.
I think it's got one of the most disappointing final bosses I played in games I love. So you know, the build up to it is fantastic. You finally turn off all the machinery, so you're able to go through the engine block. And it's there, all the little clues, which are really fucking cool, reveals that Mikey was never trapped. It was Legion tricking Mike, thinking, well, fuck it, if Mike can get on 20 souls, I can just take it from him.
Yep.
So he does this big speech, and it is a long speech as well. And this is where I think Legion loses a bit of impact, because he's a little too cartoony and a little bit taking the piss, if that makes sense. Anyway, the fight starts. And Legion comes running at you with your sword. 2 hits, it'll take you to kill him. Or seemingly kill him. This is the big bad boss. 2 hits and starts, cutscene. And then we see him transform into some sort of flying fucking alien looking stupid beast thing. And suddenly becomes near impossible to beat. Where you rely a lot on luck and a lot of luck, you know, a lot of luck and just a little bit of skill to defeat this thing. It's a bullet sponge. It becomes a fucking bullet sponge. The combination of the Shadow Gun and the Violator is really the only way you can defeat him. Shadow Gun alone is not going to do it. And that's it. That's it. You get the cutscene where like Mike says, "Oh, you didn't count on me being more powerful with the souls." And like, you're dead, Legion. Why didn't you think he'd be more powerful with 120 souls?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a really dumb move. And it's just a crap boss, you know? I think a lot of the serial killers, thanks to the build and the locations, are more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that was my last one. You said the ending. I mean, considering he's supposed to be the devil, you would have thought that he would have been some badass boss. But, yeah, I mean, I preferred fighting the 5 than fighting Legion.
I agree. It's a very disappointing. Yep. It makes up for it with a cool sort of ending where you get the kind of like music playing and Shadow Man. Yeah. Mike does the kind of similar speech to what he said at the beginning, but it sounds a little bit more hopeful and upbeat, which I think is cool. But overall, I mean, it's a great game. It's just we have highlighted a lot of we've had a lot of doubling up because these are the prominent issues in Shadow Man.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we're both big fans of the game, I think there's nothing small and personal that we'll both be like, oh, I really don't like that. No. It's the bigger issues that anyone who played it would bring up, you know? And I think that's just how it is. But there you go. There's our 10 things we hate about Shadow Man. Let us know what you think in the comments and give us some of yours. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL as well as Big Cartel where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?